Welcome back. So in the previous video, we started designing the About Me page. We were able to design this cool vector and we were able to add the heading. So in this video, we are going to complete the About Me page by adding a footer link as well as the main section. Perfect. So let's get started. So let me open my text editor, and inside my text editor, first let's start creating a new component which I'm going to call the footer link component. So this is going to be common across all the pages because every page, as you can see here, has a footer link. So About Me has a footer link to show my projects. Projects has a footer link to show my skills. Skills has a footer link to show the contact page, and again just the cycle reversed. Contact Me has the footer link to show About Me. Perfect. So let's go inside our text editor and create a new component called footer link. You know the game. We create footerlink.jsx. We also create footerlink.css. Let's move it to this side, and inside my footerlink.jsx, I'm going to JSX. I'm going to import React from React. I'm going to import the style sheet footerlink.css, and I'm going to create a stateless functional component called footerlink. So inside the props, I'm going to pass the phrase. This is going to be the phrase that we are going to pass in. For example, check out my. So this is just how I designed. You can make it completely up to you. It depends on completely up to you. So for example, you can have a button here, or you can have only the link here, as you can see, or you can make it the whole thing as a link. So I preferred this design where I was just putting the link to the projects, and this was a normal text. So this is a normal phrase, check out mine, and then link was projects. So this is the link. Perfect. So, and again, after the link, we would also need to have a to address. Although we can make the to address from the link itself. So for example, projects could be made to /projects, but it's always better to have an address as well. So this to address is going to be the address which we are going to show or take the user to inside the link component. Perfect. So let's name the class as footer link. And inside footer link, first of all, let's just display the phrase as it is, and let's add a link component. So we will have to import this link component from React Router, link from React Router DOM. Perfect. And inside this, let me move it to the next line, and let's add a link component to the to address. Perfect. And let's add a class name as well. The class name is going to be again a footer link component. Again, this is as you know, this class name is not something that needs to be you don't need to follow me on the class name. It's completely up to you. You can add any class name that you want. So it is just to make the stylings. So this class name is going to be footer link element. Perfect. And let's add the link. Let's name the link as link. That's it. That's all it is. So let's press Ctrl and 2 to move it to our right hand side screen, and inside right hand side screen, let's start adding the styles for our footer link. Perfect. So inside our footer link, I'm going to say footer -link, and then I'm going to, again, the font family, either it can be Poppins, or I would prefer here a Roboto. Yes, Roboto can also do, but let's go ahead with, since we are using a combination of Poppins and Montserrat. So I don't know how to pronounce that, but okay. So this is Montserrat. So this is again a cool font family. I love these two font families: Montserrat, Roboto, and Poppins. These three font families. Now I'm going to give my font weight as bold because this should be in bold. I'm going to give a font size of 24 pixels, and then I'm going to give my line height of, let's say, 36 pixels, and I'm going to align it to center. And this is the last thing, letter spacing. I'm going to give it a -0.015 em. So I want it to be closely aligned. So this is something cool. Perfect. So let's give it footer link element. So as you see here, this link is called footer link element. So this is basically, I'm going to give it a color of black. Perfect. So that's it. Let's start using this inside our about me component. So just above the about vector frame, I'm going to add this component called footer link. Footer link. And inside the footer link, I'm going to provide the props phrase as check out my, and the next prop would be link. It's going to be projects, and the next prop is going to be to address. It's going to be /projects. Perfect. And let's close it here. Perfect. Let's see whether it works or not. This should ideally, of course, work. Let's refresh it. Perfect. So check out my projects is working, and it's successfully taking us to the projects page as well. If I click back, it again goes to the about page. This is perfect. This is completely perfect. Now let's add one quick thing as well. So I'm going to add the main section. Now only one thing is remaining, which is main section. Again, before proceeding further, I want to let you know that we are going to make a heavy use of Flexbox here. So in case you are not well acquainted with Flexbox, do check out my Flexbox tutorial as well. Perfect. So let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to create a class. I'm going to call it a div. I'm going to call it the class name. I'm going to call it about main. Again, it's just something which I came up with. You don't need to follow along 100% here. You can try to create it yourself. You can try to recreate the designs completely on your own. It will give you a good practice. Perfect. So inside my about main, I'm going to have two divs, one for the left hand side section, one for the right hand side section. So that my left hand side section is going to have all the text, and the right hand side section is going to have all the only one image. So there are not many images, so it's going to be only one image. Perfect. About main right. So two sections here, about main left and about main right. So this about main left, it's also going to have three sections, each section representing a subtitle and a detail. So first of all, I'm going to say, let's add a comment here saying subsection 1. So inside the subsection 1, I'm going to add, let's say h3 with a class name about subheading. So it's about subhead, and then there I'm going to paste teacher, and then I'm going to say a p tag which will show the about details. I'm going to copy and paste this from here till here, from here till here. Perfect. This is super cool. And inside this itself, just inside this, I am also going to add one more thing. I'm going to add my anchor tag, which is going to take me to the different link wherever. So for example, check out my free React courses. So this is going to link to my free React courses. So again, this is your profile. You can probably add something else here. If you are a student, you can add a student and probably add a link to your projects. And if you're a blogger, you can add a blogger and probably link to your blogs and so on. So this is dependent on you. Don't follow along 100% here. Make your own changes as well. So about link element. Perfect. I'm going to name it as about link element, and I'm going to provide an href of http theleanprogrammer.com/AAM. This is perfect. And now I can say my free React courses. This is completely perfect. And just one thing here, so there's no space in between this, so this will not give you a space. So just to add a space, I'm going to add an extra string, or you can add this, what do we call, I think that was add the ampersand NBSP or something like that. So I don't remember that exact character, but yeah, doing this would also do the job for you. And again, there's no harm in it, so it's fine. Perfect. So as you can see, this is done. So teacher and then teaching is my passion. This has appeared here. Let's copy and paste the same thing for the second and third subsection as well. So I'm just going to copy and paste it 2 times. Although I would prefer here, if you are doing this for the first time, I would prefer here to extract this out in a sort of JSON or an array or something like that, and extract it out in an array of objects, and then map over that array and place this detail here. So whenever we build a real world application, we do not have constants like this. We always have a separate file of constants, and we take those constants and place it here, so that we don't have to if let's say in case anything goes wrong, we don't have to come here and see where are we using what constant. We can directly jump onto the constants file and change the constant so that it gets replaced everywhere. Perfect. That was just a sort of thing that I wanted to let you know. So try out that as well, and of course I'm going to show you that approach in the projects page. So in the projects page, don't think so I know in this page we are hard coding it, so it's not a good practice, but since it was just 3 lines, so I didn't see any point in having an array for 3 lines. But don't worry, this projects will be an array. It won't be hard coded. It will be an array from where we'll be mapping over to React components. So we'll be mapping over an array of data into our React components, and the same goes for skills as well. So the skills is also going to be an array of data which we are going to map to our React component. I hope that was not too difficult for you to understand, but yes, for now it's fine to just copy and paste this and have the same thing repeated multiple times. But always remember that in the real world applications you should not do that. But it's fine, since it's just a small thing. It's just 3 lines, right? So I could have easily done that, but I thought that it's okay. Let's not make it. So it's true that we should keep our code dry, but it's also true that we should kiss our code. Yes, you heard me right. We should kiss our code. So when I say kiss, the KISS is an acronym for Keep It Simple Stupid. So it's an acronym for a design pattern basically, which says that don't make things complex unnecessarily. So here we just had to add 3 links. So for those 3 links, there was no need to add multiple arrays and all those stuff. So let's just keep it simple. madhavbehel.medium.com. Perfect. So this is done for blogging as well, and let's add for public speaking. So let's copy and paste this. This is perfect, and here let me email the details. Perfect. So it's done. Inside the email the details, we can add where did it go? Yes, perfect. Email me the details. Perfect. This sounds very, very cool. So now this is perfect, and what we can do more is we can do one more thing. Let's change this href to a mail to, so that a mailing application starts. Mail to info@theleanprogrammer.com. This is completely perfect. So now we are done with the data. Only styling is remaining, and you know by now you are an expert at styling, right? You aren't afraid of styling, at least. So yes, first of all, let's style our about main section. So you already know what do we have to do here. About main, very, very simple. We have to display flex. As I told you, we are making a heavy use of flex here. Flex direction is going to be just a second. Flex direction is going to be row, because we want to keep. So basically this about main is this container. So these two are shown in a row. So we want to keep the flex direction as row, but in the small sizes, it's going to go outside the screen. So as you can see here, let me make it responsive. So it's going to go outside our screen. So as soon as it starts going outside our screen, it should go to the next line. So as you can see here, it went to the next line. Perfect. So let's do let me close the console tab here, and let me make our flex wrap as wrap. Perfect. And let's add a little bit of padding here. 60 pixels top, 80 pixels right, 80 pixels bottom, 80 pixels left. Perfect. And for the child elements, which are going to be about main left and about main right, so for both of them I'm going to keep the width as, let's keep it 50%, width as 50%. Perfect. So now they are of 50%. So one thing I forgot to add here was the about main right. So this about main right is going to be basically a sort of image. So you can find this image in the assets again. If you haven't already, do download these assets from the link which I already shared with you in the starting. The link was, as you can see here, the link was here, theleanprogrammer.com/portfolio-assets.rar. Perfect. So now you already have a link to this assets, and basically where you can find this about animation here. Just a second. This sort of animation inside about-anime, about_anime.gif. So this is the animation here. Again, I would like to credit the source of this animation. So I've taken this animation from Lottie files. You can check out the Lottie files. It's super amazing. Just go to Google and check out the Lottie files. It's really cool. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to import my image as well. So I'm going to import, let's say, about anime from /up1 directory assets / about_anime.gif. Perfect. So just below my just inside my about main right, I'm going to add an image, and I'm going to call that image as about-anime. Perfect. So src I'm going to give about anime, and alt text can be animation, and class name can be, just a second. So this class name is already about anime. Perfect. So I've already given the class name. So as you can see, let's see if it was included. Yes, it was imported here. Perfect. So we now just want to do a little bit more styling here, just to make sure that it is properly aligned and it's at the center. So as you can see, all of them are properly aligned here. So either you could use grid here. Using grid would be a lot more easier than using flexbox. As you can see, this is just a grid of 2 columns and 1 row. So if you could easily use grid, but I just use flexbox since I already have a tutorial of flexbox and you guys know flexbox till now. But in case you don't, again check out my flexbox tutorial as well. So let's style it about main right. I'm going to display, give it a display of flex. I'm going to make it justify content as flex end, because I don't want to make it appear at the right hand side. Perfect. So coming back to our about main left, inside our about main left, I'm going to give it a display of flex again. I'm going to give it a flex direction of column, and I'm going to justify the content as center. Perfect. So now we could see some improvements. As you can see, there are improvements, but we need to do 2 or 3 more things. First of all, we have to handle the this case where it's going above this, like it's going outside the screen, because basically we need to handle the width of this particular element. And then we also need to handle this colors of this links and all those stuff, and a little bit of padding as well. We need to fix that particular padding. Perfect. So we were here, and now let's come back and let's provide an about link element. So this, if you know, this about link element is this one. So inside the about link element, I'm going to provide a color of black #000. This is perfect. And inside my about sub head, I'm going to give it a margin of 0. So as you know, to align it up, to give a proper spacing between the elements, just give it a margin of 0. Then in the about details, what we can do is we can add a margin of 10 pixels from the top, 0 from the right, 32 from the left, and 0 from the left. So 32 from the bottom, sorry. So I must have missed out something. Perfect. So this is done, and finally let's add some styling for our about anime, which is our image as well. So I'm going to give it a width of let's say 520 pixels should be fine, and then let's give it a max height of max width of 100% as well, and max height of 100% as well. Perfect. Let's see. So as you can see here, it's perfectly aligned, but it's not 100% aligned right now. As you can see, if we inspect the element, it is becoming super bad. So we don't want that. We want a proper aligning. We want it to go beyond the screen. So it's currently what is happening is it is actually going 50% of the screen, which is looking super bad. So let's fix it. Let's open let's say pixel 2, and yes, let's fix our designs there as well. Perfect. So now we want to fix our designs in the small screen. So first of all, for the small screen, I want to make the about head as width of 80%, so that we are having a proper sort of padding at the left and right. Yes, we could have went for padding as well, but it's completely fine. It's your choice and it's my choice as well. So about head, the P tag inside about head can be font size. We can reduce the font size a little bit there. I'm going to give it a font size of 1.2 ems, and I'm going to give it a line height of the same 1.2 ems as well. Line height. Perfect. And inside my about main section, I'm going to give it a padding of, let's say, 50 pixels and 32 pixels. And now comes the main thing that's going to fix it. So let me show you this once again. So in the bigger screen sizes, we want it to be a width of 50%, but in the small screen sizes, we want both of them to be of 100% width, so that they don't look weird. So about main left and about main right, we want to give both of them a width of 100%. And now we are done with our about me section. This is looking so cool, isn't it? I can't believe this is looking so beautiful, and you have made it. You should be proud of yourself. So you have made it on your own. So now we are done with 2 pages. First page, home page, and a model. And if I click on about me, this page comes in, which is looking super duper cool. So that's it for this video. If you like the content, don't forget to share this with your friends as well, because as I have told you a lot of time, it takes a lot of efforts. Trust me guys, this 3 hours tutorials which you are seeing right now, it takes at least 3 weeks to prepare the content of this particular tutorial. And don't forget to support my free initiatives by going to buymeacoffee.com/theleanprogrammer. You can click here and then you can support using your UPI or your debit or credit card. Perfect. So let's end this video. Don't forget to share it with your friends. It was super cool building the about me page, and there are only 3 pages remaining now: projects page, skills page, and the contact page. In the next section, let's take up the skills page first, because it's relatively very easy to build, because yes, there's nothing more complex, nothing complex as such here. It's just these 2 elements we have already built, and only these things are remaining. So see you in the next section. Bye bye.